but it does not cover the words of the mouth. We're starting with that today because the power of words will be made much more imminent today by the nature of the guest we have in the studio. Before we go into the nitty-gritty of today's show, let's do a brief intimation of the headlines and basic analysis. Caution your supporters. Please warn presidential candidates and others. I think this is very important. Some of the partisans out there are getting a bit naughty with the kind of language they use and the kind of threats they make to others because people disagree with you on the choice of who is your candidate. Should not call for the promotion of violence. I think this is very important and it's about time candidates are made to caution their supporters, not only at the presidential level, but indeed across all the value chain of the positions to be contested for. PDP crisis. Party governors move to reconcile Atiku and Wike. About time too. They may just be portraying the party to be a bit unserious, and it's about time I think they came together, talk over their differences and find a way of marshalling their forces to work for the good of their party. With the way they are now, they seem to be in disarray. And lastly, on this episode of the show, the news headline that will be tweeted last is, "We have no business with parents. They should beg federal government." ASU says a strike its 6th month. ASU chieftains should be very, very careful. Very, very careful, because if they bring arrogance into it, they may just be losing the groundswell of support they seem to have at this juncture. It's not going to be easy. The federal government seems determined to wager this out, but ASU needs to be a bit contrite because parents and students are somewhat frustrated, and there may be a backlash if ASU seems to be sounding arrogant and somewhat uncaring and unconcerned with the circumstances that the parents and the students find themselves in. We go on a short commercial break and we'll be back to formally introduce our guest for today after a brief historical snippet.
This is Nigeria's number one law radio station. 103.9.
In Africa, actually, Nigeria.
It's crazy, it's fun, it's witty, it's interactive, it's a full course meal in one package. It's the evening cruise on radio where we take off from Onimoto to LAW FM Sports in charge of Bill, and the cruise ends with telling live stories. Yes! It's the Master Planner, the Ambassador and Studio Council on radio, 49 p.m. weekdays on LAW FM 103.9. Your only station for knowledge and entertainment.
Wash out your mind, baptize your mind, not day. Relax, man. I say not day, but not day. I didn't think my life, you know day. Well, what when you move the time less and the tell you to say no day. Oh, what you want to know? But the next one not day.
I will keep listening to 103.9 LAW FM to be able to know that to me. So thank you.
Where the beat never stops. Never stops. Dickson. This is LAW FM 103.9.
The time is 6 minutes after 5 p.m. We are on LAW FM 103.5. The name of the show is Power Corridor. We will be engaging serious candidates for major elective offices in the 2023 general elections. But before we formally introduce our guest today, I think it is imperative I give a historical snippet to one of the most contentious phenomena in Lagos politics. Ever since I was a young boy on the streets of Mushin in the 70s, we have always had people who will share deep emotions on certain characters who they felt were holding the political jugular of Lagos in their hands. Indeed, they used to tell us stories as far back as in the 70s. In less than 3 minutes, we will do a historical travel across more than 100 years of the characters who have played dominant roles in the political sphere of Lagos. At the time of amalgamation, the most prominent local politician was Chief Christopher Alexander Shakpara Williams, CMG, born 14 July 1855, died 15 March 1915, was the first indigenous Nigerian lawyer called to the English bar on 17 November 1879. In addition to his legal practice, he came to play an influential role in the politics of Nigeria during the colonial era. Indeed, he was the voice that was most antagonistic to the amalgamation because he claimed that the colonial office or the British government wanted to use the resources of the South to sustain its administrative challenges and the expensive nature of running the North. That was why he was one of the most vociferous voices against colonization. At about the time when he was the predominant character on the political sphere, there was also Akintoye Ajasa, who was more compliant to the colonial authorities. Indeed, he was said to be the confidant of Lord Lugard, and because of that, Akintoye Ajasa was the first person to be knighted in Nigeria, whilst Shakpara Williams was denied a knighthood. Olayinka Herbert Samuel Hillas Badmus Macaulay, 14 November 1864 to 7 May 1946, was a Nigerian nationalist, politician, surveyor, engineer, architect, journalist, and musician, and was considered by many to be the founder of Nigerian nationalism. He was the successor to Shakpara Williams. Unfortunately, he could not participate in elective politics in his time because he was a convict and he was not allowed to participate in elective politics, but he was the kingmaker. And some too, during about this time, felt that he did not deserve the influence that he commanded. Somebody like Henry Carr, who was the most senior African in the colonial government and indeed was a leading father, was a leading educationalist. He was on the board of Queen's College, he was on the board of Igbobi College, he was the architect of King's College, was indeed one of those who campaigned for the first higher institution in Nigeria, Yaba Higher College. But because Abat Macaulay was popular and was leveraging his relationship with Ali Motupele-Wura, the then Iyaloja of Lagos, very famous, very popular woman. Enrica, historically, many of our youngsters don't even know that we had a great mind who rose to become one of the highest black persons in colonial service, Enrica, in the history of Lagos. Natural successor to Abat Macaulay was Nnamdi Azikiwe. Nnamdi Azikiwe, as the name sounds, may sound like somebody from the East, but you know what? At a point, he was the most famous politician in the Greater Lagos area. And as a successor to Abat Macaulay, he was a doyen of the Lagos. Indeed, by the time of the first major elections, pre-independence elections, all the 5 elective offices in the Lagos Greater area were won by the party he led, NCNC, and he was actually elected into the Western House of Assembly, where he was supposed to be the leader of opposition before he withdrew and went back to the East. Chief Obafemi Awolowo, who initially was covering Nnamdi Azikiwe as a young journalist, who took sides with Ernest Okoli in the electoral combat that made Ernest Okoli emerge as the leader of the Nigerian youth movement against Nnamdi Azikiwe, taking sides with Samuel Akinsanya, who later became the Odemo of the Shera, who ultimately also joined Chief Obafemi Awolowo in the AG. You could see that politics for long has been a game of move in the direction that suits you, but not quite much of ideology in our climb. Alhaji Lateef Jakonde, at some point when we were growing up in the 70s, was the Baba Kekere of Lagos, and he was quite a garrison commander in some respect. In those days, if you were not anointed by the likes of Jakonde, you were going nowhere fast. Lastly, in the last 20-something years now, from 1999, gradually consolidating, and it will be one of the areas that we will engage my guest on, Bola Ahmed Adekunle Tinubu has been the Lord Mayor of Lagos. On this occasion, and with this background, I want to formally introduce a gentleman who has been christened with so many superlative phrases. The Mayor of Surulere. We have Hakeem Olaogun Dickson, the candidate of the Accord Party for the governorship election of Lagos State in the 2023 general elections. We go on commercials, and when we are back, we engage the gentleman.
Talk the law. Enjoy entertainment.
Keep it locked on LAW FM103.9, the place for knowledge and entertainment.
What better way to rock than this? This is
The station for knowledge and entertainment.
LAW FM 103.9.
This is Nigeria's number one law radio station. 103.9.
In Africa, actually, Nigeria.
Keep Keep it locked on LAW FM103.9, the place for knowledge and entertainment.
What better way to rock than this?
LAW FM 103.9, guesting for the moment and on the power corridor, like I earlier introduced him, is Hakeem Olaogun Dickson, the governorship candidate of the Accord Party in the 2023 general elections. Welcome.
Good evening to everyone. Good evening.
I know you are not mic shy. I know you are a very flamboyant media personality. So, are you comfortable?
Oh, 100% comfortable.
Fantastic. Would you be kind enough to let us know you in a manner that will tell the average person on the street of Lagos listening to you now and somebody listening somewhere in our diaspora, say in Chicago or Canada, who is the person we are engaging with? Where are you coming from?
Yes, my name is Honorable Hakeem Olaogun Onikoyi Dickson. I'm a full Lagosian, born into the two royal family of Lagos, from Itire family and from Onikoyi family. Those are the two royal areas, and I'm a worried person due to the fact that I was born from the royal family of Itire. Omaforon.
Okay.
Onikoyi Esho. I greet everybody out there, and we're here to talk politics. I was a former local government chairman in 1999 for Sule local government. Then later, I was a SA to Senator Ogunlewe as Minister of Works. Then I became the Director General CEO, Lagos State Safety Commission. Right now, I'm the Director General, TWPS, as with connections in Germany.
From the little intro you've just given us, it does seem that you are, somebody could assume that you are a bit of a political prostitute. You couldn't have been the mayor or the chairman, Sule local government, old Sule local government now, because the Sule local government that you presided over seems to have been shrunken now. And suddenly you became the SA to, subsequently became the SA to the Federal Minister for Works. You must have crossed party lines. And now you are contesting on the platform of the Accord Party. Am I talking to a political prostitute or what?
Well, don't call it that way. That must be reason why you have to leave one party to go to another party.
I would love to hear to hear some of the reasons.
See, one of the reasons are so many, but I can just tell you. When I was elected because I was popular, well known in my neighborhood. I grew up in Sule Ashita, and I never shied from there. And I was asked to come to politics. I'm like, okay, what do I want to do? So at the end of the day, I did exactly what the people of Sule asked me to do, and that makes me so popular. Then, when it was time for our re-election, then the Tribunal administration actually created more local government, and then to do joint account. I refused to sign the joint account because I realized that we will not be getting our money directly from the federal government.
You refused?
I refused.
Were there any other or many other?
I was the only one out of the 20 local government.
And you did that out of conviction,
yeah, because
principle, or what? Or you just wanted?
Because you see, we are supposed to be like the third tier of government, guaranteed by the constitution. And when we first started, when we've been sworn in 1999, we are getting our money directly from the federal government. But I was not looking into that because already when I came in, I made a budget of 158 million. And I said to do what in Sulere?
Budget or revenue profile of?
No, it was a budget.
Okay.
It was a budget.
Okay.
And I said that's not enough. But you see what happened? People were cutting corners by not letting people know that there's money in local government to be able to serve the people. So they cut the budget very, very low. So people will not be asking them for this and that. So when I got there, I'm like, what? We cannot do this thing. So I said, I'm going to make a budget of 1 billion. And we're able to achieve 1.2 billion.
So you made a budget of 1 billion, but ultimately generated
1.2 billion.
1.2 billion,
yeah,
which in itself, as at that time, was a feat of a sort, because if you were coming, how many budgetary years did that take you to achieve? 3 budgetary years.
Yes.
So you moved the dial from less than 200 million to 1.2 billion in 3 years.
See, you have to understand one thing. If you ask anybody in Sulere, they will say one thing. In Yoruba, òun ló jẹ́ àmọ̀ pé ó wà ní government, òun ló jẹ́ àmọ̀ pé ó wà ní council. That thing will never leave their mouth.
So
because I was able to open up and I showed them exactly how our revenue is not being put into government portals.
Would you be kind enough at this juncture to just enlighten our public, because many of them may also be living in areas where many of the revenue sources for the local government or the local council development authority may just be appropriated by some local politicals, and the money is not getting to the right place where it be used for the good of the public. Would you want to tell us some of the things you did? How did you go? How did you achieve that?
No, first of all, I called a friend of mine, Fuad Oki, and I said, Fuad, guess what? What are we going to do with this? Because at that time, Fuad was not part of our party. But because we grew up together in Sulere.
What party was he in then?
There was no party when we were elected. It was after we were elected in 1998. Then in 1999, they now said before there can be any governorship aspirant or candidate, there must be a party. So that was then our own association now created AD.
So you joined?
Automatically we just move into like members.
So when you came aboard the AD troop,
that was 1999, yes.
And the AD won the governorship election for the state.
Yes.
You still had the predisposition and the mentality and the worldview of you, because you felt you earned your own mandate.
No, see, the point is, when I came in, I don't know anybody. I only know the people in Sulere. And when they asked me to come and join politics, I started in zero party indirectly, let me just tell you. But I knew what I'm going to offer to the people of Sulere without even knowing what's the amount of budget. But the first thing you need to do is, how are you going to source out funds to be able to achieve all the things that you plan to do? And the first thing we did is, there are a lot of revenue that are not being put into the government purse for at that time. And again, there's untapped revenue. We're able to tap all those. They were able to block all those loopholes that was happening. So we're able to block them up. And we're able to increase our IGR. Let me give an example. Look at, there are a lot of people that works at night. They've never been taxed. Sugar man, never been taxed. People making a mola at the corner, they never been taxed. People cook rice in the evening, they never been taxed. So they believe that government closes at 4 o'clock or 5 o'clock.
So
that's one of those things.
You turned that around?
Yes, by giving out tickets.
They were previously not taxed, and you made sure that they were taxed, or they were being flexed before, but you made...
I have no idea. My point is, we're able to collect revenue from them directly through people that we give revenue contract to. Then some companies that all the way inside that, well, you know, when you become a chairman, you don't go out. You just stay in the office doing meetings. I say, I'm not here to be doing meetings all the time. So the point is, we need to go out there to look at, okay, this company here. Let me give you another good thing I did. I had two people from every street in Surulere. From
every street or
every street, not ward, every street.
And we're talking about the whole
Surulere.
Now broken down to how many?
Three.
Local government.
Yeah, I signed that one when the creation of more local government came in. You know, so because I believe in more creation of more local government, so I signed that one. But I just didn't sign joint account.
Now, there is that word out there that the office got into your head and you were picking fights with some political characters or some political personalities who ultimately felt you were biting beyond you could chew, and they ultimately emasculated your political life.
Guess what? That's part of life. But guess what? I just told you that was one of the reasons, because I said Orowan can sue. So you don't like that. That was a time where to spend 1 point something million for the people of Surulere. And we are told that, okay, the local government should add 500,000 naira into it at that time. And they didn't want to let the people who are supposed to collect that money be aware of it. And that happened in this man's house, Sikiru Chitabe. And I said, no way. But Rashid Chitabe was 100% telling the truth. And that's why I was with him. So we're able to say, no, this is what they told us to do from the party level. We're going to do it that way. And I did it that way. And none of those leaders didn't like it. Because all they want to just be quiet. Let's just, within ourselves, 7, 10, 20 of us. And that's it. And I said, no. So I opened up everything to the public.
What then did you do that could still be verified with that humongous amount of revenue leap that you galvanized? What were the things you did
with the money?
Yes, please.
But you see, as of this happened initially when I came in. Accord Bank at that time gave me 100 million loan. 100 million naira loan. But
which was
in less than 1.5 months I was sworn in to come and do project I want to do. Okay. But I didn't know, well, I was never told, but it was after the loan came in, then our HPM at that time, the head of human resources, said, you cannot touch this money. We have to get approval from the state. I'm saying, why? So these are things that we learn. Then that means Tinubu, as a governor, have to sign it. Till I left government, no single signature was given. So, and again, they now cut our hands, meaning all local government chairmen cannot approve anything over 1 million naira. 1 million naira.
You may not know that you seem to be accusing the then governor of Lagos State. I'm
not accusing, I'm telling you the truth. Go and verify.
You seem to be accusing the then governor of Lagos State of the same thing that his own supporters have always accused Olusegun Obasanjo of. You telling me that revenue were deliberately denied to Surulere because of your seeming...
No, I didn't say revenue. You're making your own mistake. I said the loan to be able to do projects.
The loan came,
which is 100 million. We couldn't. It did not approve it, so I can't take the loan.
Did not approve it.
Tinubu.
The same thing now. Obasanjo did not approve what rightly belonged to Lagos State.
Like what?
You forgotten the encounter when you were the special advisor to Ogunlewe, the encounter that lasted for more than 2 years between the Lagos State government and the then federal government under Olusegun Obasanjo.
You guys got your own story wrong. Give us the right
perspective. Just give us the idea.
I'll tell you something. When I came back from Canada on one of my trips, I said, Your Excellency, there's so small community in this Canada, less than 1,000, 5,000, 10,000, they have a local government. We can create more local government. And it said by law, the governor has the right to create more local government in the state. And I say, fine. I never said they should create 57. But if we're going to create, since you don't want to use that condensed style, let's use the style they use in New York City, where we have paroles. And the chairman of that 20 local government will always be there based on the constitution. But by now calling all of them local government chairman, making 57, it is not right. So it was later when Obasanjo refused to sign that to give them the allocation of funds. You understand my point? That the way he looks at it. See, one thing, Tinubu never give precise information to the public as of that time. And that's one of the reasons that almost all the past chairmen at that time left and went to PDP. I was with the president, Obasanjo, Bode George, Ogunlewe, and few other leaders, including Chesola Niwaju, Tunde Brahmo that is dead now, former commissioner for Agri, I've forgotten his name now. A lot of us went to PDP. And we had a meeting with Obasanjo in Nassau Rock. And we all discussed this issue. We are aware of that as of that time. Because it was wrong the way it was done. So why you want, no, you want.
What Obasanjo did was wrong.
Yeah, no, it was not wrong. It was right. I'm not against that. I would never go against that.
But
I said what Tinubu did was wrong.
Okay.
There's no reason for us to have a joint account. You should have allowed, if you created that, are you getting my point? To allow, if it's true, lady, my money comes. Let me share it among, we have our own budget. You cannot use part of my money for other local governments. You cannot be taking part of my money for the states. So, for that joint account...
Are you alleging now that part of the funds that ought to go to Surulere local government was being taken by the state?
Yes.
You are looking at me straight in the eyes and you are saying a yes to that.
Yes, I was part of the system. Now you are going to tell me what I don't know.
No,
I'm just telling you straight up.
I'm asking you because I know you have the right. You should have an answer that I must respect, even if there may be other opinions there. Okay, let's leave that. You are also telling me that what Obasanjo has been portrayed as a villain for was also done by the state government or the state governor to the bona fide 20 recognized local government areas of Lagos then.
Yes. Okay, let me ask you a question. Have you ever seen any local government performing? You just answer that question.
I'm the one asking questions.
Okay, here. Ask me.
You are better placed to answer the question.
Yeah, so
I will make you comfortable to answer.
I am. I'm cool with that.
You came with a lady. I brought in another.
Yes, there's no.
So you cool. I know you are always a cool guy. Now we have that in our past. Now you went to serve as the special assistant to the Federal Minister of Works and Housing. I guess that was the...
That's what we just discussed about this local government thing. That's when all those things came in. Yeah.
And you did not feel it was incumbent on you as a bona fide Lagosian to tell them we may have a disagreement with this guy. Indeed, the Supreme Court has stated that, the local governments could be established by the state, but that ultimately, for the local governments to become prima facie local governments, the National Assembly would have to pass a complementary statute to recognize the newly created local governments, and therefore the Supreme Court said those local government or those local council development areas were inchoate. But having said that, as a Lagosian, born in Lagos, raised in Lagos, bona fide shitter boy, you knew that the federal government was withholding the money that would positively impact your people, and you allowed the Obasanjo government to keep on doing it for 2 years without you putting a dissenting voice, either through your principal officer, the minister, who was also a Lagosian then, or given what I know of you, the kind of access you had or still have to Obasanjo, you had to Obasanjo then, you could have chipped it in. Baba Efun Olowo, but we will find a mechanism. We'll find a mechanism to get them to respect the constitution and what you felt was right that they ought to do, but they wanted to overpush the envelope. You didn't feel it was incumbent on you to do that?
Number one, I'm not part of FEC. I'm not part of FEC, so I cannot discuss much on that.
But you could have spoken to your minister, to your principal officer, who was a member of the federal
who took federal government to court.
Yeah, enlighten me, please.
It's Lagos State that took federal government to court.
Oh, naturally, because they felt that they were being outdone by a
no, you see, the point is, state is doing the same thing that you and I talking about to local government. Up to today, and even all the funds were released, yes or no? Where's all the money?
Ultimately, under
even at that time, Tinubu took Etiosa local government from that main express. They wanted to divide Surulere local government into two and use half as a loan for whatever project he wants to do at that time. I refuse.
Okay.
So you see, you have to be able to understand the.
You will make us understand.
No, that's not my own. My own is ask me question and answer what I can answer.
No problem.
If I don't know about it,
we will try as best as possible to ask you all the relevant questions to make you give the facts at your disposal. And when else we come from the break, we'll be looking. We've looked at the past, but we cannot perpetually live driving with our rear view mirror. When we come back now, your vision for Lagos, if the mandate of the Lagos electorate were to be given to you in 2023, would be a lovely direction to go in.
This is Nigeria's number one. 103.9.
It's crazy, it's fun, it's witty, it's interactive, it's a full course meal in one package. It's the evening cruise on radio where we take off from Onimoto to LAW FM Sports and charge your bill, and the cruise ends with telling life stories. Yes! It's the Master Planner, the Ambassador and Studio Council on radio, 4 to 9 p.m. weekdays on LAW FM103.9. Your only station for knowledge and entertainment.
You are listening to LAW FM 103.9, where the beat never stops. Never stops.
Not try nothing. Go to your mind, kill him. Not tight. Hey, not try. What do you want us to kill him? No, enough your mind. Raise wash out for your mind. Baptize your mind. Not day. Relax. I say not day, bro. Not day. I didn't think my life. You know day. Well, what do you move? The child less I tell you, they say not day. Oh, now you want to for the next one, not day.
Keep listening to 103.9 Gbola FM to be able to know you're right. Me, Punky Man, says so. Thank you.
Where the beat never stops. Whole fiction. This is LAW FM 103.9.
Welcome back to Power Corridor on LAW FM 103.9. The numbers to call in, the live direct studio numbers to call in on to engage our guest for today are 070-322-77338. I repeat, 070-322-77338 or 090-955-51039. I repeat, 090-955 0800-555-1039. We've got a caller.
Hello.
Hello, good afternoon. Who are we talking to? Your name, please, and where you are calling from?
Yeah, good evening, sir. And I greet your guest. Alaba Alakpe is my name.
Alaba Alakpe calling from
Ojo local government in Lagos.
Alakpe. Okay.
Yeah, I greet your guest. Ogboli Kitube.
He's speaking your dialect to you.
Because we're on this thing, that's I didn't want.
You are a Lagosian.
I'm a Lagosian. Go ahead, bro.
You
answer me now.
A friend of a boy like you.
Are you hiding? Not are you hiding to be an award?
You know, when you travel out of this country, everybody say vernacular is not allowed. You know.
Okay, ask a question, Alaba. Ask a question.
No. Your guest has embarrassed me. Good afternoon.
Okay, thank you very much for calling. Now, you have claimed to be from the Awori stock, and as somebody who was also born in a native Awori environment, one would ordinarily, anyway, you were a middle class boy, Surulere boy, Abi.
Yes.
So
I was born in Lagos Island. I was not born in Iture.
You were not.
I said my parents come
your
from
ancestral. Okay. Anyway,
and they know me there, so it's not
fantastic. You then went to PDP, but it's on record, given the fact that you were later made the executive secretary of a major agency subsequent to your PA-ship to the minister. You were made the executive secretary of an agency in Lagos. You must have then flipped back home.
Well, you are right. It was when Funsho Williams died, and then Ashwadi has been calling us. You know, there was 11 commissioners that wanted to be governor for when he has to finish his second term, and he had no idea, and there was a lot of issues. I think that gave him a lot of sleepless nights, and he has been calling and calling and calling. Then my team at that time, as I said, myself, Honorable Hakeem Dickson, Ajibosho from Agege, Shesonra Iwaju from Shomolu, Tunde Brahmo from Koshofe, and others. And he talked to them. They said, look, you know what, we have to go back to where we came from, all that kind of stuff. And we took our permission from Senator Ogunlewe, you know, that we have to come back to APC at the end of the day. And the issue is Tinubu needs to explain what he did and why did he do it to us for us to leave and go to PDP at that time. After over a month, every day meeting, back and forth, you know, just say, okay, actually, we wanted to work for Funsho, and Funsho passed away, so, and we came back, and he promised. And at that time, Ajibosho became a commissioner, Sheson was a special advisor, and then later after the administration of Fashola, we were able to bring Fashola in for him. And we were able to make sure that we saw Fashola what we wanted to do for Ogunlewe, for Funsho Williams. We were able to use it for Fashola to be the governor. If not, he would have lost out.
You mean the second?
Look, when it comes to Lagos, don't play with those five. Do not play with those five. We are grassrooters. We have the grassroots with ourselves. We know what people are talking about. But we played that game for him, and that's why Fashola became the governor.
But as we speak, the hegemon of Lagos is still a character known as Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Grassrooters, as good as you guys are, you seem to still be playing under his league. He's the chairman of the Premiership League where you guys play.
You know, Pele used to play with somebody, he became his own, okay. So that's just the game.
Let's look at the future now. We've dwelt too much in the past. Hakeem Olaogun Onikoyi
Dickson.
ọmọ tìrẹ tí ò mọ meaning kí ti gbé Dickson.
Kankan náà gbogbo ẹ̀.
Okay, what do you have for the more than 20 million souls living in Lagos if you were to emerge as the elected governor of Lagos in the 2023 general elections?
If you ask that question, I might not answer you directly, but first thing on my mind and in the mind of all Lagosians is caging.
What do you mean by caging?
Caging. We are tired of being caged by one person.
That has been.
No, that's how I'm going to tell you.
I gave you more than 100 years political history.
Forget that story. Anything can change.
And I told you how some characters from Christopher Shakpara Williams to Abat Macaulay to Nnamdi Azikiwe to Chief Obafemi Awolowo to Alhaji Jakonde before Tinubu were the anointers of those who gained political relevance. And I'm sitting there and you are saying that if you emerge, you will play your own game so differently that anybody could just come from anywhere to emerge as a political mover and shaker in your own Lagos.
This is Lagos. We are well educated. We are not in the olden days era.
Okay.
Caging is number one issue, meaning that no one person should be able to control Lagos for us. We are Lagosians. We are from the royal family. Nobody from the royal family, from any Idejos, has ever become the governor of Lagos State. We're tired of that. That's number one.
Lagos is a democracy, isn't it?
Whether Lagos is a democracy or whatever you want to call it.
I'm just asking because I know you schooled in Canada and America. You schooled in America.
I schooled in US. I didn't school in Canada.
You schooled in America, and you are well exposed to some of the best liberal democracies on the face of the earth. Are you telling me that willy-nilly, as at this juncture, the governorship of Lagos should just be willed to somebody?
All I'm just saying is one at least. We've never seen that record. It cannot continue. See, the point is caging.
Fashola, you worked for Fashola now. Fashola was one.
I didn't work with Fashola. I was one of the people that put Fashola in.
You worked for his re-election when Dickson. So.
Yes, so, and you are aware of that case. You are aware of that case. If I do not,
I must pretend not to be aware of anything here. I must ask you questions.
Myself, Tunde Brahmo, and Arebe, we had a serious meeting almost every week on how to make sure that Fashola is re-elected. You have to understand one thing. Tinubu didn't want him to go back, but we put our foot down and said these are the way to do it. Immediately we finished our report. When we were to go and give to Tinubu, he asked us to go and sit by the pool side. We finished that meeting. The next thing is, okay, call me Kabiyesi. You call me Fashola. Let us meet at Kabiyesi's house in Lagos Island. And they did that, and that's how he was able to get his second term. You might not aware. I was there 100%. Tunde Brahmo is dead now.
Well, what I'm telling you now is that, are you saying that inconsistent with the traditions of most liberal democracies where people have to canvass for the votes of electors, you just want whoever claims that Lagos blood runs in his vein to
as long as we're in Lagosian, there is two types. We can give ourselves three types of Lagosians, but right now we have indigene, and we have people that was born, raised here, and we have people that are resident right here.
I have a caller for you. My callers take precedence over.
No problem.
Caller, good evening. Who are we talking to? Your background is a bit noisy.
Hello, yeah, I've known my distance.
Oh, your name, please, and where you are calling from?
Okay, my name is Gbola Oba Lucas. Are you know me?
Where are you calling from, please?
I'm calling from Isheri Osun in Lagos State.
Okay, your question, please.
Yeah, my question is now we heard that Honorable Dickson is contesting for Lagos State Governor under the platform of Accord Party.
Okay.
Accord Party.
Yes.
Yeah. Now, I want him to analyze, and in the past years, we have a problem from Lagos State. Even though can't want anything, and now we want a Lagosian to have the whole thing, and that's why we choose Ola Oba, and we want him to assure us, like electricity, like a road, just like for my area. I'm at Jack on the estate area.
Okay, be fast about it because other calls want to come in. Be fast about this.
Yeah, I want to come about the issue to clear it. Because
okay,
now
yes, that's you. Thank you very much, engineer. Thank you very much. You want to go for that?
Yes. Let me tell you, I have the ingredients that all roads in Lagos State will be tarred during my administration. You know why?
All roads. How many roads do we have in Lagos State?
When we're able to Google that to find out how many roads, there is no full detail. Hold on now.
No, how many roads do we have? If you promise it, because I will be
all roads.
I will be holding the feet of politicians.
I said I have the ingredients. I said I have the ingredients.
But how many roads are you going to tie if all roads are going to be tied?
All roads, whether done or not done, whether repair, all of them will be done. There are over 7,000 roads in Lagos State.
And you will tar every.
I have the ingredients.
Okay then. How are you going to do it?
Very simple.
How?
Immediately we got elected in the East local government in the area. We are going to number one install the what we call block making machine to be doing paving stone. Okay. Then again, I will make sure that all the West 3 senatorial, but I will make sure I divide West into 2. We're going to have an asphalt plan there. There's only one asphalt plan so far, and that's the one that Isheri take that there. But I told Fasula at that time, he said one in the.
I have another caller for you.
So yes.
Okay, you seem to have mastered in your.
Hey, this is my game. I ain't doing nothing else but politics.
Okay. Thank you for waiting. Your name, please, and where you are calling from.
This is Mr. Olumide from Idisha in Surulere.
Fantastic, Mr. Olumide. You have Hakeem Dickson.
No, I heard about him when he was the chairman of Surulere local government. I know him. You know, he performed then. He did very well in Surulere, which we are still enjoying up till now. But one thing is that Mr. Dickson should please take it easy. You should take it easy.
What do you mean by taking it easy?
Yes, the way he was answering people, the way even your questions, as if he is the master of everything, as if he knows about everything.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for the advice. I hope you are spotting. Thank you.
Okay, well noted. I have all the ingredients.
Okay.
Well noted. Thank you for that.
Okay. A bit of circumspection. They need a bit of circumspection from you. They would have a bit of sobriety and maybe speaking to the facts. Another caller. You seem to be.
Hello.
Hello. Who are we talking to? Your name?
Olu Smith is my name.
Olu Smith.
I'm calling you from Surulere.
Fantastic. Where exactly in Surulere are you calling from?
Okay. Falawiyo Bankole.
Falawiyo Bankole. Were you resident in Surulere when Hakeem Dickson was quote unquote the mayor?
I am close to my 50. So I know what we're talking about.
What was his performance? Just, you know.
To a large extent, considering the government under which he worked, I think he tried his best under which he worked. I want to believe, and I need to know, that you can't take any success, or you can't take, or how do you put it now? You can't claim to be successful if you don't have the support and the backing of whoever is at the helm, or whoever the government at the end of affairs. If they don't give you their support, I can bet it with you, you won't do anything. Are you
saying it was a bit too cantankerous for your liking? And
I can tell you that.
And you wasted the valuable opportunity to do well?
Exactly.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you very much. We will give him the opportunity to answer that. I've got calls calling in. You'll be writing these questions down. Okay, you want to answer Olu now?
Yes. Ola Smith and Olumide and Engineer Kola. Let me tell you, I like the questions you guys asked, but be honest with you, I've been having this thing over me that I need to boil them out. Your points are well noted, and I'll be careful. But one thing is, I need people. I don't need the government of the day to back me. I need people like you to continue to support.
Maybe
Thank you.
Just talking from this side of the divide in the studio, maybe you need more strategizing than anger ventilation.
No, this is not an anger now. This is the truth.
No,
I'm only making the point.
Okay.
You asked me a question, I have to give it to you.
Fantastic.
But I didn't know it's going to be that.
This will be my last caller for you today. You will have the opportunity to still round up. Caller, thank you for calling. Your name, where you're calling from, please.
Good evening.
Good evening. Your name, please, and where you're calling from.
My name is Malcolm.
Malcolm, from where are you calling?
I'm calling from Surulere.
Malcolm, were you a resident of Surulere when Hakeem was the local government chairman?
Oh yes, I've been around for a long time, and I know that guy.
How was his performance as your local government chairman?
Honestly, he was another Moses to the people of Surulere.
Are you sure, Malcolm, that you are not one of his friends or one of the beneficiaries of some of the contracts he gave out in those days? This seems to be likening him to Moses, Malcolm.
Listen to me very, very carefully.
Okay then.
I was around when he was local government chairman, and I was doing other things.
Okay.
But the feelings, the reaction, the response of the people in his community in Surulere local government was fantastic.
Okay, thank you very much. We have to wrap it up, and we have to give him the opportunity to respond to some of the calls. An hour could be such a short moment when you have an engaging session. Okay, 30 seconds.
Well, thank you, Lagosians. I want you guys to give me this opportunity to be your next governor in 2023 under the platform of Accord. And believe me, it's the first party that you're going to vote in, and is the first one on the line. We're going to be talking about education, roads, light, railway almost everywhere. There's going to be a ring road in the entire Lagos state. I will do a railway line from this Victoria line all the way down to Epe. I'm going to make sure I cover Ojo, Alimosho, Ibejulek, and other areas like that. So our plans is so. Then the point now is, don't worry about the financing, because the finance is already there. We're going to improve more on the financing.
There's no free. You must remember that there's no free meal even in Freetown.
We will not do any free meal. We will not.
Okay, that is where.
But we will do student loan. We will do student loan. No parents should be able to suffer to pay their child school fees. No parents should be able to. Any child will not go. Their administration will not go on strike. Okay. Not even the professor.
Okay, thank you. This is where we leave it for today. There may be another opportunity before the election comes around next year, but we see how it goes.
You have no choice. You will call me.
I do have a choice. I'm a mission boy.
You don't have a choice.
Okay.
You want to hear me talk.
This program is meant to be an impartial, non-partisan political platform where major candidates will be engaged. No bias against anybody, not for anybody. This is a production of LAW 103.9 FM. My producer today has been Waire Ofigo. And you know what? Because I'm on, when next I come on, I'll let you know opportunities to signpost some of our youths to fantastic skills training opportunities free of charge. Thank you. Gbola Oba.
When you listen to these stations, you learn about your rights. You discover the law in ways you never imagined. You know why? Because we broadcast in your interest.
It's a problem that we are all experiencing in the country. Different parts of the country, the same thing is happening. So who do we call on to? Who do we hold responsible?
Every individual should know about the law and their rights. Because the law affects every aspect of daily life. Call it what you
LAW FM 103.9 ensures you get to hear
never biased.
Talk
So
the law
why should it
and
be
know your
now?
rights.
It's every individual. We are LAW FM 103.9.
There are no internal electricity boards.
This is LAW FM 103.9.
Let's talk. Let's converse. Let's have fun.
It doesn't get better than this.
103.9 LAW FM.
Good evening and many thanks for staying with LAW FM 103.9. This is the evening news for Monday, August 15, 2022. I am Emmanuel Oshideko. First, the major headlines. Accord Party Governorship candidate says joint account is responsible for the underperformance of local government in Lagos State. Police dismiss officer for assault and disobedience to order. Osun APC commissioner defects to PDP. Flood claims 50 lives in Jigawa State. And on the foreign scene, Ruto declares winner of Kenyan presidential election. Now the news in details. The gubernatorial candidate of the Accord Party in Lagos State, Hakeem Dickson, has said that the joint account run by the local government and the state government is responsible for the underperformance of the local government in the state. According to him, the Tinubu administration introduced the idea of joint account, a move is solely opposed. Speaking to LAW FM 103.9 earlier today, Onyekoyi Dickson said that he was the brain behind revenue generation for Surulere local government when he was made the chairman of the council in 1999. According to him, the state government budgeted 150 million naira to run the affairs of the local government when he was elected chairman of the council. Realizing that the fund would not be enough to run the affairs of a cosmopolitan area like Surulere, he decided to make a budget of 1 billion naira. He stressed that each local government should be autonomous to bring about development at the grassroots. The Nigeria Police Force has dismissed Force Corporal Okpeyemi Kadiri, attached to Dolphin Divisional Headquarters, Lagos, for gross misconduct, disobedience to lawful order, and assault on a member of the public captured in a viral video on August 3, 2022. The dismissed officer, who enlisted into the force on 6 September 2016, was caught searching a commuter's phone by the roadside, contrary to the directives of the Inspector General of Police, Usman Alkali Baba, to that effect. He equally assaulted the commuter who attempted to bring the order to his notice. His dismissal takes effect immediately. The former Commissioner for Finance in Osun State, Wale Bolorunduru, has announced his defection from the All Progressives Congress (APC) to the People's Democratic Party (PDP). Making the announcement, Bolorunduru claimed that APC in Osun State is a party full of deceit. He claimed that he noticed